This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace.
Last year, I went through many different life changes. I needed to take a pause and examine how I was feeling in the inside to better show up for the ones who need me to be my best version of myself.
When you're navigating life's changes, Talkspace can help. Talkspace is the #1 rated online therapy, bringing you professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatry providers that you can access anytime, anywhere.
Living a busy life, navigating a long-distance relationship, becoming a first-step father, Talkspace made all of those journeys possible. I could speak with my therapist in the office. I could speak with my therapist in the comfort of my home. I was never alone.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance, no problem. Now get $80 off your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
What time is it? What day is it? Where am I? Ah!
He's Derek.
I don't hear the music. I can feel the bass.
She's Romaine.
They can come visit me at my cattery and they can get a picture of me and my pussy.
This is Derek and Romaine.
2.0, bitches. That's right, Derek. Hello, hello, hello.
Wow, Romaine live from her musical cattery, that's for sure.
Right. That's right.
Well, Derek here, along with Romaine. Joining us in a few minutes, we are going to have singer, songwriter, handsomeness, David Hernandez back with us. He has a new single out, a new music video out, a new direction in his life. Lots to talk about with him. And we will be playing his latest single, too.
Yes, we will.
Latest single, Looking to Mingle. Also, you know me, I'm not a musical person.
Huh. What? You not a musical person?
I enjoy music, but I cannot convey music out of my body in the way that I inside, the way my insides feel. I cannot convey myself musically. I think it's if I had any request of how I could transform my life like very deeply, I would transform my ability around music.
Gotcha.
I think I would be, if I could sing, I think I'd be a hell of a live performer, singer, interpreter of music and whatever else. But I cannot sing, so I can't do any of the I could, I could lip sync around it. Maybe I should have been a drag queen. I could,
right.
You know how I love wigs. I can interpret around music, but I can't convey music, which is, and honestly, it is a dishonoring of my ancestors because I come from musical people.
Right.
Up to and including people whose surname is the Bohemian word for musician. So obviously,
Derek.
I come from people, if your last name is Smith, you are descended from people who were Smiths.
Probably Smiths, yeah.
Right. Or if you're Pattersons, you come from people who, Pat, I don't even know.
I have no idea. We were mostly in construction, I think, my family.
How far back?
I don't know, but I feel like they were mostly in construction.
So builders.
Builders, yes.
Okay. Well, anyway, my ancestor, I am descended from literal musicians and also actually people who did have music careers. There are musical people that I am.
I don't know that there were a lot of musical people in my family.
And yet,
me and my siblings are all very musical in some way, shape, or form. Like most of my siblings.
You have natural musical talent.
Yeah.
And there are all sorts of people who have natural musical talent. It may not be what their family vocation was. Back in the olden days before we had, radio and TV and CDs and music and streaming platforms and whatever else, people had to entertain themselves.
That they did. Ooh, that was not easy.
And so, everybody would learn, a family would have, if they could afford a piano, they would have a piano, but often they would have some other,
or something,
a guitar or a violin or some other, even a harmonica, some other portable musical instrument that they could play.
Mm-hmm. And then they'd sit around and have jam sessions. They'd sing songs and tell stories and all those kinds of things. I actually, simpler times, but in some ways, I really love the community building and family building that happen in moments like that.
So when you're around the fire pit with your family, why don't you like bust out the guitar? And
well, I don't know how
have
to
a
play
nice
the guitar.
musical
I actually, I wish I knew how to play the guitar. I would really like to know how to play the guitar. I think that's one of those things I just don't know how to do, but I would love it. And if I did know how to play the guitar, we would do a lot of that kind of stuff because I would make everyone.
I have been on this journey to set goals for myself for the new year, and I've already started implementing many of them.
Right.
And so I think that you should
Learn
have
how to
a
play
goal
guitar.
to go buy yourself a secondhand guitar and teach yourself guitar. It's too bad that you're not in New York City anymore because I have seen some flyers around that say that Dan Smith will teach you guitar.
Oh.
But you could still learn online and everything.
Sure.
And,
I mean, I could take guitar lessons. That would probably be what I should do. I just have never done it.
I actually think that would be a fun hobby for you.
It would be a nice hobby. I would enjoy it.
Yeah, but also just like something that you can, because you do like to sing, be musical. And I think that if you were able to accompany yourself, whatever, you could like take a break during the day and spend a few moments with yourself being musical. And entertain your friends when people come over. You're like, I almost tripped over this guitar. Oh, put this here.
Oh, no.
Should I do a song? Okay.
I could do that. Sure. Oh, gosh.
Actually, you really wouldn't do that.
If I learned how to play the guitar and I became okay at it, then I would feel like I have to record an album. Like me playing the guitar and singing some songs.
Which you have always wanted to do.
It is. It is something I've always wanted to do.
You know what? Somebody who has not put their musical dreams on the shelf is David Hernandez. And he has a brand new single out. Let's take a listen to it and then have a little chat with him about his life and his music here on Derek and Romaine. Take a listen.
Who am I without the substances? Who am I without the sex? Who am I without the ugliness? Who am I without regret? Who am I without the shame? Who am I without the stress? Who am I when I'm all alone? Where am I when nothing's left? I thought I was alive for the party, always going home with somebody. Now I don't really know nobody. And no one's picking up when I'm calling. But you gotta feel it, oh. I know you don't wanna feel it, no. You wanna keep on running from it all. But you gotta feel it.
Take your time, Smith. Take your time. Let him finish.
I don't need someone to judge my past, but the way I'm living just can't last. I'm tired of lying to end up in a place where I'm dying. And if I'm being honest with myself, I've been doing things that ain't good for my health. I need a moment, a reset, sit with my trauma and process. Thought I was alive for the party. Always going home with somebody. Now I don't really know nobody. And no one's picking up when I'm calling. But you gotta feel it, oh. I know you don't wanna feel it, no. You wanna keep on running from it all. But you gotta feel it. Whoa. Yeah. Come on. I keep running from the past, but it runs to me. The pain I'm pushing down brings me to my knees. I second guess it and stress it, but willingness is the lesson. I got one shot in this vessel, hit a wreckage. God bless me. God bless me. God bless me. God bless me. I used to be the life of the party, basing all my worth off somebody. Now I don't know nobody, and no one's picking up when I'm calling. Yeah. But you gotta feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it all. I know you don't wanna feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it all. You wanna keep on running, running, running from it all. But you gotta feel it, feel it, feel it all.
Well, that was a bit of Feel It All, the latest single from our guest, David Hernandez. You can stream the song for yourself on all major streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. And of course, you can check it out, plus his new music video and all of his music on his website, officialdavidhernandez.com. And he is on Instagram and Twitter. Oh, and we're going to talk about X, what happened to him on X also.
Oh.
He is D Hernandez Music on Instagram and X/Twitter. David, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's good to see you guys. I think the last time we talked was a few years ago, during the pandemic, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Yeah, I
And-
remember being in Puerto Vallarta when that happened, and I had just dropped a Boomerang.
Yep. I remember that.
Yeah, crazy.
Well,
How
this
the
is-
world has changed since then. Huh?
Oh my God. And thankfully, so I mean, in a lot of ways, thankfully.
Yes.
Yeah. In other ways, it hasn't changed at all.
Yeah.
Oh God. I know. But we're gonna look at the silver linings here.
Right. We're going to
Yes.
stay positive, Derek. Stay positive.
Yeah.
But I would like to talk about your music and your journey and all of those things. But first, I want to talk about something that, because when I prepare for our interviews, I look back on our past stuff. And when you were with us last time, or one of the last times, you were very concerned about losing your blue check mark on Twitter X.
Was I?
Yes.
Oh God.
And it
the
is
things
gone. Gone,
it is
baby, gone.
I don't, it's just the things you look back on that you were concerned with are just so embarrassing sometimes. I don't give a shit about fucking blue check marks, to be honest. The world has changed so much that anybody can pay to get verified now. So who
Right.
cares? Oh God. I mean, yeah, that was the 5 years ago me that cared, right?
Mm.
Yeah. But I mean,
Well, once upon a time, those things were kind of a status symbol. They did kind of mean something. So
They were.
know.
It's funny. I was watching the Charlie Sheen documentary last night, and they were talking about how like he had like a million. What was it like a million views on something, and it went viral or whatever, and like a million views in retrospect is like nothing compared to what people are getting these days, right? Like 1
Yeah.
billion would be more like what people are like. Yes. So yeah, I mean, things just tend to I don't know, the goalpost gets moved all the time, so it's just hard to like, you just got to keep evolving, I guess, or just maybe giving less fucks.
I think you have to. I think you have to carry all of these things somewhat lightly. I mean,
Yeah.
there are certain things because we have an independent show. You are an independent music artist. When you are out on your own, it's not so much clout chasing of having a blue check mark or having lots of followers in social media. A big part of it is just like I'm in business for myself. I gotta, these are the places, the avenues where I can reach people to keep my business going.
Yeah.
And so it is a little bit different than, being a teenager in your room hoping you can get, 1 million likes on your makeup tutorial or something. Like it's very different for independent artists and what social media can mean for connecting to your base, but also reaching new people.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a sort of metric of success for me is, for some people, it's just it's like the numbers, and other people, it's the joy you get out of it. For me, it's a combo of those things. Like, do I get joy out of doing what I do? And also, does it help me sustain my lifestyle? And so if those two things are a yes for me, then I feel like I'm doing the right thing, whether I have X amount of followers or a blue check mark or not. So, but everybody's like sort of standard is different,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But everybody's goals are different.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So let us talk. Since you brought up the Charlie Sheen documentary, because he talks quite a bit about his own addiction journey there, and this is
Yeah.
a big thing behind your latest single. So, what did you glean from the Charlie Sheen documentary, and what was your own experience and journey in developing this song?
Sure. What did I glean? Well, the first part of your question, what did I glean from it? Well, I love that he talks a lot of program, and people that aren't in the program wouldn't probably understand what I mean by that. But there's just a couple of key words that he uses throughout the documentary that are indicative of somebody being like in a 12-step recovery program. And I thought it
Mm-hmm.
was really relatable and really um, just like affirming that like these programs do work. And his story is really crazy wild, and a lot of what he went through most people wouldn't be able to go through and sustain, like for example some of the privilege that comes with being Charlie Sheen and like going through these awful rock bottoms, and then when he comes out of them would be like brought a movie script and hey, by the way, you're cast as the lead. As it was just like these positive sort of affirmations for bad behavior, that like kept him in this sort of like spiral. I don't think that most people's stories aren't like that. When you hit rock bottoms, you lose your job, you lose your family, you don't get presented with movie scripts the next day. So a lot of that might be sort of like unrelatable. But what I do find relatable is that addiction, it affects everybody from all walks of life, no matter your race, your age, your sex, your economic status. And I
Yeah.
think that no matter what way you look at Charlie Sheen's story, one thing you can take away from it is that um, addiction is a disease, and it's insidious and it's dark and it wants you alone and dead. And as we've seen, unless you get to the root of why you're using, you will keep using and you'll keep falling into this cycle. And a lot of what I love that they touch on in the documentary is they say, I don't think Charlie ever felt like he deserved all these things. And I got
Mm.
like goosebumps because it's been a huge theme of my life too. Like when I hit sort of these like goals, or I'm in this sort of relationship, or I'm invited to like these sort of things, I always have this like imposter syndrome. Like, I don't know if I belong here. And the truth is that like I've never felt like I've belonged anywhere since I was a little kid. I could go all the way back to when I was like 5 years old in this broken home, and my parents weren't around, and and I grew up around a lot of addiction, alcoholism. Like I just never really felt like I deserved stability, or I
Mm.
deserved an invite, or I deserved X, Y, and Z. And so throughout the years, like my way of coping with that was like alcohol and drugs. And so I can see that like when they said that in the documentary, I was like, oh my God, ding, ding, ding. Like that's so relatable, because like you could have millions of dollars and be on the number one hit TV show or be in the number one film, and you still will self-sabotage because in your heart of hearts, you don't feel like you are worthy of those great, incredible things. And that is a huge underlying thing with a lot of addicts and alcoholics, from what
Mm-hmm.
I've come to understand. And so it was just, some people thought the documentary was triggering. I felt it was really affirming that I was on the right path in my sobriety journey, because no matter what I do from this point on, and my life has gotten exponentially bigger in my year, 4 months, and 15 days or something like that, that I've been sober this time around. It's like my life has gotten so full, and I just hope that I'm doing the spiritual work, and I hope that I'm doing it enough to where like it keeps me sober like another day, so that I can continue to um, be in the and on this side of things, which is it's just a beautiful side to be on. So I don't know. Like it's kind of crazy. Like and when I wrote "Feel It All," like I mean that was in January, right? So I that was like almost 10 months ago, and I wrote it just like as therapy. I just kind of started jotting down melodies in like a voice note on my phone. And the way that I work with like songs is that like I don't typically like write the whole song in one sitting. I just kind of like take pieces of it, and then I'll like listen to it and be like, oh, that was shit. And I'll, like, I'll delete that. That was fucking embarrassing. Um, but then other times, like in the case of this song, I was like, oh, this is really cool. I really like this. So I called my friend Trent Park, who worked on, he was the producer of Boomerang and my last EP, Don't At Me, back in 2022. I called him and I was like, hey, I have this idea. Do you want to come over? It was like a Sunday. And he was like, random, but yeah, I'll come over. So we came over, and like typically we would have like a bottle of tequila or like red wine or something, and we'd just sit there and we'd sip and like get the juices flowing. But since I'm not doing that, uh, we just didn't do that. I had an energy drink, and I think he had like a soda or something, or I don't remember what he had, but we just started building the music, and then it sat on my hard drive for like 3 months. I kid you not. And then one day I was in the shower and I was thinking about like the second verse. I think it had to happen naturally through like my journey of this sobriety. I think I just had to like live life a little. And
Mm.
so I started reflecting on like why I made the changes, like what wasn't good for my health, and like, but like, I don't want people to judge me. And that's where the second verse came from when I say, I don't need someone to judge my past, but the way I'm living just can't last. I'm tired of lying to end up in a place where I'm dying. And so, like, I wrote that in the shower, and I was stepping out of the shower, putting it in my voice notes, trying not to get electrocuted. and and I just kept it there. And then so little by little, I started stepping back into my studio and recording these bits of the
Mm.
song that eventually ended up being what you hear now. And I will say that the song is much like my sobriety. It's like one day at a time. I'm figuring out the pieces of the puzzle. I'm adding things. I'm taking things out. I'm
A work in
editing.
progress.
Yeah, I'm editing all the fucking time. And isn't that just life in
Yeah.
general? Yeah, like you should always reserve the right to edit because I think it's important. Nothing is ever really set in stone. You can change at any time too. I remember my late grandmother, she died in her 60s from lung cancer, and before she died, I we hated her boyfriend. He was a fucking asshole. Um and she was with him for so long, and we said, "Grandma, like you hate him. Like why do you want to say, oh, I'm too old for change, honey." And then 2 years later she died. And I just always think back about that because like can you imagine what her last 2 years of her life would have been if she would have just made the change? Even only for
Mhm.
2 years, though, right? Like, I just feel like it's never, ever too late to edit, to change, to say, I want a new career, I want a new relationship, I want a new life. And so that's why I feel like, I don't know, the song was just, it spoke volumes for me. And I hope that it does that for other people.
So I imagine that sobriety means something different to you today than it did when you first started. Do you think that's reflected in this song?
Yeah, I think so. You mean, well, here's the thing, like, I've tried sobriety 4 times. The first time I was in rehab. The second time, I don't know if I quite believe there was a problem. Third time, I was like, well, let me just step out and do some like research and just see what happens. And like every time I stepped out, I'm not even kidding, like it got worse. Like it just kept getting worse. And I used to hear people in the rooms always say, like, be careful because it gets darker. And I was like, whatever, they don't know what they're fucking talking about. Like I can control this, like all I have to do is like stay away from hard liquor, only drink when the sun sets, only for special events, only if I'm sad, only if I'm angry, only if I'm happy, only if I'm elated. Like, the exceptions just
The
there's just
rule.
become so many. And
Mhm.
so it's changed a lot in the sense that like I have a spiritual practice, and I have a sponsor, and I have a program that I have to be a part. I have to be active in my sobriety. I have to participate in it every day because you can't take from a well that you're not putting into.
Right.
So that's what's changed for me now. I think in the beginning it was just about white knuckling and like just staying away from the drink because alcohol really I'm like a good old fashioned alcoholic. Like alcohol is like everything. Like I don't care about the drugs. I don't care. I mean, sure, like I did cocaine and Adderall to help me drink more, but I was never, everybody has a different story. My thing wasn't like meth or heroin or not so much cocaine in those aspects. Like I didn't really crave those things. The thing I craved the most towards the end, especially, was alcohol. Like I just loved the feeling it gave me. I started to love the taste of it. Um, and so I think that this time around, it's just there's so much that's changed because I've leaned into the spiritual part of the program instead of just abstaining from alcohol
Mhm.
itself. You know what I mean? Like I realized that I'm the kind of person where I do everything in excess, no matter what it is. And in a lot of ways, artistically, that is such a superpower,
Right.
right? I
Mhm.
love it. There's some things that I obsess over that I think are really healthy obsessions and that make my art wonderful. But there's some things that get pretty dark, that I obsess over, like my self worth, my ability to show up and feel like I belong here. Those things need a spiritual practice. I need to be aligned with a power greater than myself, and I need to relinquish control in order to let go of the things that I cannot literally control
Right.
because they become really problematic areas. And what that leads to for me is going back into alcohol consumption so I can numb that inability to control.
Well, and sorry, Derek, you're in a situation though, David, where, not only are you have all these stressors and all this, but then you add the fame aspect to it, right? And then,
Yeah.
you have your self-worth tied into that part of it too. I imagine that it just leads to more and more reasons to want to consume alcohol, to want to use and do those things, because all of these other aspects are just stressors that just make you question your self-worth 10 times more.
Yeah. I
mean,
mean, now you
fame
just
is
made me
icky in
question
that way.
myself.
Yeah.
You just made me question myself. No, I'm kidding. No,
I
you're
don't
right.
believe that.
And I think also, no, I'm totally kidding. But when I was doing some digging a couple months ago, I realized that when I was on American Idol and all that stuff happened with like outing me as being gay and outing me as being like a stripper and all that stuff was sort of outed without my consent. And I was sort of, I was violated in that way by a few news sources. I have come to realize that something at that particular 24-year-old period of my life shifted in me. Something either broke or cracked or fractured. Something happened there because from that moment on, I decided that I would always be in control. And that was really detrimental to my life because I made a lot of mistakes after that because of what someone or something or some people did to me. I decided that in order for me to be successful and to keep going in this industry, I have to always control the narrative. And that led to a lot of pain and suffering for me because you
Right.
can't possibly control everything. You
No,
cannot
you
always,
can't.
people are going to say what they want to say about you, no matter if you're fucking Mother Teresa or not. Like, people are going to have something to say about you. So, in that particular time, when it came to the fame and stuff, yeah, I think it broke me in a way. And so, I- and I think, thankfully, it's crazy when I look back at my life and I'm like, maybe God didn't give me the fame that I really wanted all these years because he knew that I wasn't capable of handling it. Because
Oh,
I can't even,
that's pretty fucking deep.
I know, because I think about like all the things I wanted.
Right.
I wanted so much. And if I would have went through what I have went through in the last decade in front of the public, I honestly don't know that I would have survived that. I really don't, because there's such a lens that is so magnifying. I think these sort of struggles should always be private and sacred and shared with people that love and care for you, that are going to hold you gently. And that is not something that today's social media world does. I mean,
No.
you know what I mean? Like, and even when I was looking back at like when Charlie Sheen went on that huge press tour while he was using, do you remember that?
Oh God, yeah.
The
Holy
Tiger
shit,
Blood.
where it was like winning that. And he was in the interview talking about it, and he was just, you could tell he was cringed. Like, he was like, "Oh, that feels like a different person." And that's how I feel about like when I went to rehab in the beginning of 2017, and when I broke out of rehab and I was in the hospital ripping IVs out of my arm. Like, I remember that, but it doesn't feel like me. It doesn't feel like David, because I was going through like a proper psychosis because of using so much and then coming down from all this shit. So it's like, oh my God, if that would have happened to me on TMZ or in front of the world and all that footage was forever just immortalized, like I can't say with certainty that I would have survived that.
It's amazing when people who have had those moments do survive it. I mean,
Oh my God.
we can look at some pretty prominent examples of that.
But
And
then you see
not all
people
of them
that
do.
didn't.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Amy Winehouse, Kurt
Aaron
Cobain,
Carter.
Aaron Carter, Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
I mean, Whitney Houston. I mean, all these people that like, it's just, it's, it's my heart goes out. I have so much empathy because I know how that all feels to be so attached to something that's killing you. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a huge, like, thankfully, I'm able to look at it like that, because there's a lot of things that I wish that I would have been able to do or still want to do that it's well, it's not your time, babe. Like this is your journey and you got to lean into it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I also think, a bit of this can also be because what I heard in some of your past experiences in getting sober is one, a feeling that you could outsmart addiction.
Lots of addicts
Yeah.
feel that way.
And a lot of addicts
Yeah.
feel that way. But also, I think a lot of successful people, it's hard to convince people who have experienced a lot of success in their lives, however you want to measure that,
Yeah.
this is an area where you can't be successful on your own when, they have propelled themselves successfully through so much of their lives, right? So it's very
Yeah.
hard to convince people who have that kind of drive. And so I think
Yeah.
certainly in the entertainment space where you have a lot of really creative people who are successful in, propelling themselves forward creatively or in business, it's very hard to tell them, like, this is not something that you are smart enough or talented enough to resolve on your own. And if you're already having imposter syndrome, then that's also going to fuck you up of like, well, I
Yeah.
already was feeling like, I don't deserve the things I have. Now you're telling me I also can't
Can't
overcome
control.
this on my own either. So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a scramble.
And then also when you're like the front of this business and you are the driving force and you are the face of it and you are all these things, you feel like you have to show up and you got to present as if everything's okay. You don't really have the space to like just go away, because if you go away, then how are you bringing in money and how are you paying people and how are you there's people that rely on you. And thankfully, I can't sit here and pretend like I'm on some level where I have like a whole payroll of people, but I definitely felt like I let people down during the years of when I was in the throes of things and stuff. So I agree with you though. Like you can't tell me nothing back then. Like, come on, man. I'm the one that fucking got myself on American Idol, and everything that I've done since then, I have been the catalyst for. So you're telling me that I can't kick this fucking nasty addiction? I've kicked everything else. What are you talking about? Um, but addiction is so much bigger than that. And it's hard to come to terms with that, especially for type A people like myself, where, we do have a lot of things going. Like I can do a lot of things, but unfortunately, addiction and alcoholism isn't something that you can do alone.
No. But speaking of things that you don't do alone, with the music video for the song,
Yeah.
you co-directed the video.
Yeah.
So how was that experience for you?
It was really cool. And, like by co-directed, I mean like everything in it was like a collaborative experience. Like my Johnny D, who started off, I met Johnny D in Salt Lake City during a corporate event. He was dancing behind me while I was singing. For doTERRA, actually, for the
That's-
the essential oils.
That's
So
right,
I was
as
like
one
booked
does.
yeah, I was booked, and he was dancing and stuff, and like he was just really cool, and we started chatting because like I don't know, like less than a year later, I was like, I want to cut this performance reel video so I can shop it to like prides and like get booked more, and he was like, well, I can choreograph and dance for it with my girlfriend in the video for you. And I was like, cool, we got to find a videographer. And he's like, well, I'm also a videographer. I was like, yes,
Nice.
like
That's
jackpot,
perfect.
like yeah. And so we shot this performance reel, and then I was like, hey, about, I don't know, like a year later, I'm like, I want to shoot this music video, but like, I don't know if you're capable of like doing what I want to do. Because I wanted to do this, like, it was for Vices, my music video Vices. I was like, I want to do this like little acting part in the beginning and blah blah blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, I can do it. I think I can do it. So I was like, all right, cool. So we did it, killed it, and then we shot I Am, my next song. And then it came time to shoot this one. And I was like, I'm in a different place in my life. Like, what are your thoughts on this idea? And he was like, well, I think from a videographer standpoint, this is going to work. That's not going to work. And I was like, cool. So like what you see now was like it was a collaboration of like my ideas and his ideas. Cause sometimes what I have in my brain is kind of psychotic and like won't necessarily work on film.
What?
So he's like,
That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. He's like, David, that's gonna in his Russian accent, he's like, that is not going to work. I'm like, okay. All right, cool. Well, what will work? Because I'm the kind of person where it's like, you tell me no, and I'm gonna figure out an angle
No
and
means
figure
yes.
I'm gonna figure out a world in which we could slightly pivot, but like my vision still stands, you know? So we did that, and we did that and it was a huge feat with having like 20 plus people and like a 10-person crew. It was the biggest video I've shot, and it was a lot of work, and it spanned over the course of 3 days.
Wow.
So, but I think it came out fantastic. And I'm really grateful to Johnny for being so patient with me. And there was a couple of times where him and I were like really butting heads, and I had to like pick up the phone and be like, hey, brother to brother, what's going on? And it just, everybody's just gets busy, and life gets crazy. And so, people get short and snippy and irritated, and, deadlines and, but it all worked out.
Ugh, when life is in the way, I hate it.
Oh man, get it out.
Now, last year, you got to do something that we ourselves have done, which is
Awesome.
Grand Marshal at Phoenix Pride.
Oh yeah.
And you're from Arizona, so how was that as a homecoming for you?
That was cool. It was really, it was an honor. It was a privilege. And funny enough, the entertainment director who booked me for that was my former boss when I was serving cocktails at this gay club when I was 21.
Awesome.
So it was like full circle, like years and years later, he's like, hey, I want to book you for Phoenix Pride. And by the way, your American Idol alum who was on your season, David Archuleta, will also be headlining. And I was
Aw.
like, how cool is that? So I got to introduce David,
Amazing.
and then I got to perform my own set, and then I got to be Grand Marshal, which I thought was like, holy shit, like this is total full circle moment. And
That's incredible.
my parents, but both my parents got to come. My sister
Aw.
got to be Grand Marshal with me in the car, and it was just like, I forgot about that, by the way. Thanks for reminding me. But that was
You're
really
welcome.
cool. It was. I remember being really tired the whole time because there was a lot of people to see in that small period of time. It felt like a blur, and we're just going with the motions. But in retrospect, the pictures show that I was having a great time.
Phoenix Pride is probably my favorite pride in the country. I absolutely
Really?
love Phoenix Pride. Yeah, we used to go to Phoenix Pride, Derek and I, every year for years and years and years and years. We were the MCs of the main stage, and I have I hate Pride generally speaking, but I have the best memories of Phoenix Pride.
Phoenix Pride's great too because it's massive and there's so much to do.
Yeah.
And there's like multiple stages, and it's one of those prides that I think might be slightly underrated in comparison to like New York or LA or ATL.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree. It's
and-
so
but
well
it's-
organized. Like they
Yeah.
just have their shit together over at
That's-
Phoenix Pride.
That's what we
They
liked
do.
about it, because as a performer, what matters most is not that there's bungee jumping or rock climbing. It's that how well is this event being managed and organized while you're there on the ground. So for us,
Yeah.
as people who are coming in and emceeing and whatever, it's like, oh, we love it, a well-organized Pride. And Phoenix was like a Swiss watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great actually. And they had little golf carts they were driving us around
yeah.
on, which I was like,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. I might have stolen one of those one year.
Oh my God. Okay. They're looking for you still.
No, I mean, they might be.
Probably.
Literally, there was one, because for years I coveted the golf carts, because I was like, I want my own golf cart, and they wouldn't give me one, probably wisely.
For good
And
reason.
then 1 year
You're so crazy.
they left one backstage, and it was unmanned, and I had a microphone, and next thing you know, or unwoman, I was no longer on the stage. Derek was still on the stage, and I was in a golf cart driving around the field like a crazy person in front of the stage, and Derek is like, bitch, get back here. What are you doing? And I was just having more fun than I should.
Were you drinking?
I wasn't. I was not
No,
drinking.
she's
This
just a
is
hot
just who I
mess.
am. I'm just crazy.
I love that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. I'm telling you, I had the most fun at Phoenix Pride. And then Derek and I had we had our favorite Jack in the Box, which was kind of hidden back by a strip club behind the stage area.
Oh,
we
yeah.
You know right where that is.
I'm fully aware of where that Jack in the Box
Oh,
is.
yeah.
It's like literally behind the main stage across the street.
Uh-huh. Yep. And so
Yeah,
that
I
was
used to
where
go, I used to go there all the time.
Yep. As soon as the show was over, as soon as we were done, we're like, okay, let's hit the Jack in the Box and then get to the hotel.
And just
And there
eat
wa-
our
and
Jack
there
in the
was a
Box in front of the TV.
There was a strip club right there too. I don't know
Oh,
if it's still
yeah.
there, but there
Yes.
definitely was.
Oh, no,
No,
it's
and
still
that-
there.
And the
It's
strip
still-
club,
Yeah.
like they would usually have like a lunch, like all you could eat, like a lunch buffet or something. And everything. I was always like, one of these days we're going to eat here. But we never did because it was always like, ugh, we're sunburned and tired and covered in
dust.
sweat and dust and sunscreen. And, I can't, those poor stripper ladies, they don't want to see us. But we would invariably like go through the Jack in the Box for lunch, either like right before we would go to MC at the Pride, we'd grab lunch, or we'd grab it on our way back to the hotel after it was over. But like sometimes we were grabbing lunch, they would be doing some kind of like stripper car wash out front to try to get people to come to the strip club.
That's
Pride
hilarious.
weekend, please anybody come to the strip club. And I was like, oh, we should go and support their car wash.
I know. We
Poor
never
ladies.
did, though. We should have.
We never did.
Oh, well.
You still have time next time.
So
know,
what
we're so
is
dumb.
so you do perform at a lot of Pride events. So I'm curious, do you ever just get, because I got to the point where I'm like, if I go to another fucking Pride event, I'm gonna kill myself.
He's fully out of Pride.
I can't do it. This year we returned to Pride for the first time after God, a long, long time. And I actually really had fun, but I'm curious, do you ever just like, I can't do Pride anymore. It's too much.
No, I don't ever feel that way because God, it's interesting because I don't ever feel that way. I feel like it's great to see just like younger kids coming to the prides more and more, and like just seeing like people get cultured and like educated even by like the straight allies that bring their kids.
Yeah.
So it's always, for me, it's like so cool to see it because I feel like, especially with this current administration, like it's one of the few places that the queer community feels safe and feels like unapologetically themselves in a space, like because everybody can just like let their freak flag fucking fly. I love seeing the lesbians walk around with like the tape on their titties, like and then they've got like kids on their shoulders, just like being like introduced to like, hey, like all of this isn't such a bad thing. Like you can be who you want to be and still like exist and be accepted. So and I kind of look at it like as my responsibility too to like show up and bring fun and like energy to this place where everyone's just so hyper excited about just being there. And like the last time I was when I was in Joplin, Missouri, I was in the hotel and I was like coming down the hotel and people were going up and they had like, it was like these two moms with their kids and they had like all of their rainbow colors on, and like they had driven, we were like chatting and they had driven from like Arkansas all the way to Joplin.
Wow.
And I just was like, this is like, you just you take for granted that like these, like they probably ordered their flat stuff from Amazon. They planned this in advance. They got their kids. They took a road trip. They planned the snacks. They paid the money for the hotel room. Like it makes me emotional because I'm just like, how cool that it means a lot. It means a lot to them. And so for me, whenever I start feeling like, oh, another show, it's like that shit snaps me out of it so quick because I'm like, this means so much, and it should mean that to you, David, because it's important work that you're doing. You're not just getting up there and singing, you're getting up there and you're being an advocate for your own community, and you're inspiring people even if you don't know it, and they're seeing themselves in you on stage. And so I just always like, I think we all sort of get like jaded, in whatever vertical you are in professionally, we kind of get jaded. So it's like seeing like just that and seeing like the people that are part of the community and how much it means to them. It re-inspires me every time.
Yeah, Romaine, be a beacon.
Okay, I'm going to try to be more like David.
It's a daily practice.
I'm out of practice, I guess. But you're right on all of those things. You really are. I will say, so we did Twin Cities Pride this last year, and we hadn't been in a long, long time. And I was shocked by the changes in Pride. In particular, the thing that pleased me the most, and it was not just LGBTQ kids, because I think there were probably some straight ones in the mix too, but the furries. And like the amount of gender queer, I'm just going to use that as an umbrella term because I think that I don't know how else to put it. But like the amount of young people in particular that express themselves with gender queerness and as furries was breathtaking. It was I was shocked. I couldn't believe how many of them there were and how dedicated they were to their self-expression. And I have to say, I found it lovely. I really did.
Yeah. It's kind of inspiring, right?
Yeah, it was pretty remarkable, actually.
Yeah, because I think even the way that we grew up, and I'm assuming you and I are probably similar in age, but like now it's like there's so much gender fluidity and identity, and there's just so many
Yeah.
more like options that are okay and like safe to be a part of. Like, and like growing up in the 80s and 90s for me, like that just was not, it just wasn't a thing. So yeah, you're right. It's always like, like, and I all the time, like people are like, "Hi, my name is so and so," and I go, my pronouns are they, them, and I'm like, "Okay, got it." So I need to remember that because, it's about respect and like
Right.
listening to you, and like, just like I want to be called he, him, like, if you want to be called they, them, like I should honor that. So yeah, it's always, and it's educational for me too, all the time. Like I learn new stuff every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
great.
And as RuPaul says, pride is not for us, pride is for the children. It is for younger people. Like that's, because
Yeah,
this is their like a debutante ball, pride, really, when you think about it, for young people coming out. Like this is their, introduction to a much broader queer world. And
yeah,
so, I think it is our responsibility to, build and maintain that space for the young people to step into, and then for themselves decide what parts of this community they are going to continue engaging with, over time. But like here is the width and breadth of who we are as a community, and
yeah.
take the pieces that work for you, along the way. So
I agree.
I agree. I think it's lovely, and it's lovely to see that young people, they all look like hot messes to me, but I'm sure I look like a hot mess to them. So,
You do.
we're all on the same page.
Yeah, no, I love that. You worded it beautifully.
Thank you, David. Okay. Now I did want to ask you, on perhaps a more fun, or I don't know, maybe disturbing side. I don't know what your experience was, but so you did Naked Boy Singing for a while.
Yeah.
And then you did, as a promotion for Naked Boys Singing, you had an OnlyFans for a while. So I
Yeah.
am curious about what your dipping the toe into that universe was like, and
Yeah.
what impressions you came away from it with.
I love the dipping of the toe because it's literally how it was. I was like in and then I was out. It was cool. It was cool. People wanted more towards
Sure.
the middle and end of it, and I just wasn't willing to give it. I just, I went in there because I was on this like naked boy journey and it was on brand and it made sense. And then when I finished the show, I was like, delete. I don't know. I just felt like it was just a period of time. It was like a window of opportunity that I wanted to lean into. My body was in great shape. I had this really amazing photographer that was in New York, Noel, and he was just shooting me in like these ways that I had never seen myself before. And so I kind of developed like a different sort of love for myself in the nude. Um, and so then I decided, like, why not just like give the fans that were part of this naked journey with me a little bit more, like a deeper look into, these like sort of like beautiful artistic shots. And that's when I created the OnlyFans. And then I didn't do anything in terms of like collaborations or anything with anybody. It was just me, myself, and I the whole time. And
Uh,
that's it.
and you were naked in all of this stuff?
It was like beautiful artistic photos that were shot by this
Okay.
photographer. Yeah. And I would
So
just
not
post
like
those.
porny and slutty. Beautiful
No,
artistic.
I mean, there was beautiful artists. I mean, I'm sure there were some porny and slutty moments. I mean,
Okay.
that also exists in the um, zygote of David. But
Sure.
I think for the most part, I would say that the OF page was dedicated more to, yeah, the artistic shots. And like Christmas would come or like Easter would come and I would have like, I would do like the themes too. Like I'd
Right.
have a Santa hat on or, whatever the holiday was. I think I did St. Patrick's Day one where I was wearing all green or like a green hat with like nudeness. I don't know. It was
And
like, yeah.
did you get any inappropriate offers
Oh
as
my
a
God, all the
result?
time. I still get them. People are like, "Do you still have your OF?" And I'm like, "No, that ended years ago, honey." They're like, "Bring it back." And I'm like, "Not happening." But okay. I'm just on a different journey now, and with my acting taking off and stuff, like it was just a moment that happened, and yeah, we're on to the next, you know. And I have a lot of friends that still do OF, and they make an incredible living off of it. So trust me, it is tempting when I think about like, oh shit, the car payment's coming up. I'm like, fuck, you know, all I gotta do is post a picture of my ass, and there you go. There's $380 right there for that Honda Civic, honey.
Right.
But you know, we're just not there, right? I'm just, you know, to each his own, and that's just not where I'm at.
Fair enough.
I think that's
Yeah.
understandable.
But it
Also,
was
I mean,
fun. It was very fun while it lasted.
but I mean, you know, I say this all the time because I mean, I feel this way with our listeners of like, you know, oftentimes the vast majority of people. I need to make this clear, and I'm sure you feel the same way. The vast majority of people are very respectful, like engaging in appropriate and proper ways, and just want to enjoy what you're putting out. And they, you know, the sort of the silent majority of our listeners, and I'm sure it's the same thing for you. You know, people, they buy your music, they watch your music videos. Maybe if you're at an event, they're like, "Hey, you're doing a great job," whatever. But it's like it's very low key, and they are just enjoying it and going on. And that's the vast majority of people. But
Yeah.
as I say all the time with our show, it's like sometimes people expect a lot for their $6.95, and I think
You
about
know,
like when I would go to I would go to a gay bar and there would be some stripper on a box, and I would just see somebody just like absolutely, completely manhandle and molest somebody for a single dollar, and I would just think,
yeah.
man, people expect a lot for a dollar out of a stripper. So I understand that it, you know, in this space, like you give a little, and then there will always be some people who are like, now for a dollar, like here are the
Yeah.
many horrendous things I would like out of you.
Yeah. And I always say, like, for people, just decide what your non-negotiables are and stick to those, because the minute you open Pandora's box, it's flooded. And that's, you know, so for me, like when people were like, collaborate and do this with so and so, I was like, no, because the minute I do one collaboration, then that's going to be the only thing people want to see.
Mm.
Right.
And I just don't have, that's just not my brand at this moment in my life, for a variety of reasons. And everybody has their own reasons, and I respect those reasons, just like I would hope people respect mine. So yeah, it's funny though. Yeah, I do see that at like, especially like with the Go-Go Boys and stuff. I'm just like, do they want all of that? Do they want your hands all up in their booty crack like that? Because it's only a dollar, sis. You know?
We can answer with some authority on this because we recently interviewed a boy who was a dancer, and no, they do not.
They do not. That's what I thought.
And by
I'm
the
like,
way, not for a fucking dollar, for a 20, maybe.
I mean, if you're gonna put your hand all the way up my ass, I mean, it better be like $100 bill right there, maybe a few of those,
fair.
actually.
Fair.
You know. But anyway,
I want to ask you about your acting really quickly, because you did say that you are taking it very seriously right now. So what are your acting goals? What is on your dream board? What are you chasing right now?
sure. TV series, feature film, whatever that looks like. I've done two feature films this year and one movie musical, and then I've also shot 13 vertical shorts. It's a lot to do in a year span, but like since last September, that's what I've been hard working at doing. And my one of the feature films, called Glamping, it's a horror film, comes out on Tubi at the end of next month, and I'm really excited about that. I have a very important and cool role in it. I can't give it away, but
Okay.
it's going to be on Tubi, and I'll post about it and stuff. But my goal is just, I mean, honestly, I think I'm doing exactly what I want to do, but obviously my dream is to be a series regular on a television show where I can wake up every day in Los Angeles and drive to set and be on a TV show that's a hit, whether that's on streaming platforms or network television. It doesn't matter to me. I just would love to be a part of something where we can collaborate as actors. That's the thing I love about acting, is it's not just like a me sport. It's a
Right.
collaborative sport with everybody that's in the scene with you. And that's I mean, I've been in acting class for a long time. Most people don't know that I started off in musical theater and acting and music sort of at the same time when I was a kid at 6 years old. So it's always been a thing for me, but music took off first. And so, but when I came to LA after American Idol, I got into acting class. I just never really applied myself. And so then I got sober, and I was like, wait, I can do so many other things. And sure as hell, with that OCD came into play, like we talked about earlier, I was like,
Mhm.
I want new headshots. I want an agent. I want to submit myself, and I am relentless in the submissions. And so I just booked another feature film a couple days ago that we start shooting next week. Actually, it's just a 4-day shoot for me, but it's a feature film, and so that'll be my fourth in the amount
Nice.
of time that I've really dedicated myself to acting. So I'm really excited about it. But
That's
that is,
awesome.
yeah. So my manifesting is like TV show, series regular, or a huge film that we can see everywhere around the world,
That'd be
Now,
incredible.
let me
or both.
ask you, since you brought up musical theater. So let's say all these things take off for you, and then you have an opportunity to do something on Broadway in musical theater.
Yeah,
Do you have a dream show or dream role in a show that would be the thing that would propel you to sign a contract to spend a year doing a show?
absolutely. Well, first of all, I went on a few auditions last year, and I thought I was so close to getting. It was a regional production of Cabaret, and I was so close to getting the MC
Mm.
role, so close. And then I had went out for In the Heights for the role of Usnavi, but that was also another regional one. So I haven't been. But my dream is to be on Broadway one day. I would absolutely love that. But I would love to be in either one of those shows, or even Hamilton. Um, but if not, a new show, something, a new works, like something that has never
Mm.
been done before, where I can originate the role, that would be so incredible. I am a musical theater kid, but I didn't grow up on sort of like the more traditional musical theaters. Like I'm more, if I was going to be a part of something, I'd want it to be more contemporary. I just feel like those are where my strengths would be. I'm not. I don't know. I know a lot of musical theater people where they know like every single musical, and they're so like they could, you know, they're just incredible like musical theater like connoisseurs, right? But like I don't think I'm as far into that as they would necessarily be. My version of musical theater is more like the contemporary works. But I love the reason I loved the MC role in Cabaret so much is because it had just so much nuance and quirk and sexual ambiguity, and it was just it was cool to be able to like every person that plays the MC brings their own isms to that role.
Sure.
And I think that that's really important. Whereas some of the more traditional musical theater shows like Phantom of the Opera or Newsies or the list goes on. Like you got to sort of fit into what was written, and I think that there's a beauty in that too. But I think also there's a beauty in like the freedom. And as somebody who's like an R&B pop singer, like I think my voice lends itself more to some of those freedoms.
Nice.
Yeah. But if I
Nice.
but if I was on a TV show and I was offered Broadway, I would hope that I had a fucking great enough agent to where they were like, okay, so David's going to be doing this 5 nights a week, but then, the other 2 nights he's shooting this series or, whatever the case. I mean, even just shooting the series during the day and then doing musical theater by night. I am sober, so I do have a lot more energy.
Is there a TV series right now that you're watching that you're like, God, I wish I was on this show so bad?
Oh my God, Alien Earth. Yeah. Have you not
Okay.
watched that yet? I
I
watched it on Hulu,
have
but it's an
not. Derek,
FX
have you
show.
watched it though?
I have not, but I have heard good things. People do like
Yeah,
it.
people
I'm
are
very
way into it.
weary because there's been a lot of junk in the Alien universe, but
No, I know. It's a great one. But I also like I know it's a few years ago, but This Is Us would have been like perfect for me. Just I would have loved to be on that show, This Is
Mm.
Us, or even in Handmaid's Tale. I thought was incredible. I would love to also be in the comedy, like something along the lines of like a Veep.
Okay.
Veep is hilarious. Like, oh, so good. Just that dry, dark sense of humor. Like I live there. So
Nice.
yeah.
All right, I like
Just
it.
a few.
these are all good goals you should put immediately on your vision board
Yes.
as
I
our
know.
interview wraps up. David, wonderful to have you back with us. And
Let's not make it so long next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, listen, by the way, we're dropping a new updated version of Beautiful for the 10-year anniversary next year.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
and I have a great producer on it and potentially a featured artist that's incredible. So stay tuned for that, and we'll circle back when I drop it at the top of the year.
It's a Romaine Patterson.
Shut up.
Yeah. yes, it is. It is Romaine.
How did you know, Derek?
Spoiler alert,
And
everybody.
the artwork is going to be her on a golf cart.
Yes.
Oh my God. That would be beautiful.
Microphone.
You know what?
in
It's
one
literally
hand,
beautiful. That
Wheel
would
in
work.
the other. Let's go.
Exactly.
All right. Our thanks to David Hernandez for being with us. His latest single is Feel It All, and you can check out the song. It is streaming on Apple Music and Spotify. You can also download and own his music, which is also a great way to support him as an artist. And you can check out the video that he co-directed as well. And you can find all the information about this, including his upcoming gigs and other things that are going on at officialdavidhernandez.com. And if you're not already following him on Instagram, you should. He is D Hernandez Music on Instagram. David, thanks once again.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It was good to reconnect with you. And like you said, Romaine, let's not let it be too long.
Agreed.
You're listening to Derek and Romaine, everybody. Well, there you have it. The end of another perfect episode of Derek and Romaine. And if you want more great fun, go to dnrstudios.com and subscribe to get our show every day. And don't forget, for DNR Plus subscribers, you can use the DNR Cast app for iPhone, available now in the App Store.